Right now, the Ride the Drive event has wrapped up, but we will share more about how cyclists enjoyed their ride down John Nolan today. Also, with school starting back up, learn how to help limit the spread of germs in the classroom. And it's election week in Wisconsin. We tell you what you need to know before heading to the polls on Tuesday. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. You may have noticed that John Nolan and Regent Street were blocked off from drivers today, and our Merrill Hubbard went to the Ride the Drive event to see how cyclists and pedestrians were enjoying some of the day off from driving.
John Nolan Drive doesn't usually look like this. We're used to seeing tons of cars, noisy traffic, but all I can hear today is the sound of bikes and people laughing as they enjoy their ride around Madison.
There's honestly nothing better than riding John Nolan without any cars.
Ride the Drive is a day where people can get out of their cars and try a different mode of transportation.
You get to feel more fresh air and you don't have to waste so much gas.
With over 20 partners, 50 vendors, and more than 300 volunteers, Madison Parks is able to bring Ride the Drive to life.
And that's really what this is about, is that healthy living, that active lifestyle, and the biking community. And how better to celebrate that than the most iconic drive into Madison with no motor vehicles.
Madison Parks started the event in 2009, but had to take a break during COVID. This is the first year they are back in full swing, and for some people, it's even better than how they remember it.
We did this the first time 5 years ago after I learned how to ride a bike. My parents tried to teach me when I was younger, but then I fell from a bike and then I never tried again.
But at 25 years old, Nicole Verhagen did try again, and her mother-in-law taught her how to ride a bike. One day later was the 2019 Ride the Drive Day, and that's when she made her cycling debut.
That was pretty fun. Like when I was here, it's just everyone's happy, friendly, and it's pretty a good opportunity, I think, just to be able to explore the streets without the stress of the cars.
Whether you started biking at 25 or 7 years old, this was the day for everyone to relax on the roads.
My experience been today, it's fun, it's like a nice weather, and we get to play a little bit of games over there.
There's quite a difference when you don't hear the noise and the traffic, and you don't have the fear of a motor vehicle either.
You're so much more connected to nature and the community, and I mean, being able to say hi to everybody. You don't get that in a car. All you get in the car is stress, so.
It's healthier.
Even though they had to take a couple years off because of COVID, Ride the Drive came back in full today, and organizers tell me that they're excited to continue the event for many more years to come. Reporting in downtown Madison, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Merrill, thank you. There were over 10,000 people that took advantage of the Ride the Drive event. After waiting for 5 years, organizers say it was a beautiful day out with a great turnout and well worth the wait. To an update out of Janesville, the Janesville Police Department are currently investigating an incident. Earlier at around 5 this evening, JPD had asked the public to avoid the 1100 block of North Randall Avenue. JPD at the time had requested by the Milwaukee Police Department to locate Patrick E. McConnell, a suspect with an active arrest warrant for a felony charge of strangulation and suffocation, domestic abuse. Officers arrived to the scene and talked with McConnell over the phone. The SWAT team was activated. McConnell eventually left the residence and was taken into custody. In other news, it is primary week in Wisconsin. On Tuesdays, voters will head to the polls to select candidates to compete in some of November's most closely watched races. Voters are choosing candidates for the Republican-controlled state legislature, which will likely be reshaped with Governor Tony Evers' new legislative maps. Almost 2/3 of assembly seats are open this November. Meanwhile, in Wisconsin's 3rd congressional district, Democrat Rebecca Cook will take on Katrina Shanklin, with the winner facing Republican Derek Van Orden. For more information on what to look out for with the primary, check this story out on our website at channel3000.com. Also on your ballot on Tuesday, there are 2 statewide constitutional referendums. They ask voters to decide on whether the governor needs to get the state legislators' sign-off before Wisconsin spends funds coming in from the federal government. Will Keneally speaks with advocates on both sides of the amendment fight this week.
Why this isn't an attempt to take power is because they're trying to circumvent the governor, who can quickly and effectively make sure emergency funds go to the right people and where they need to be.
If there's no restriction or specification about how it's to be spent, we don't share power in determining that. The governor decides it unilaterally.
You can see more from this conversation on our website at channel3000.com. Switching gears now, let's get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller, who's out on the weather patio. Blaze, it was another fine day outside.
It was. I mean, we heard from Merrill earlier showcasing everybody who was out biking today. It's been a beautiful weekend. Low 70s on Saturday, upper 70s to low 80s today. We're going to steadily climb into the 80s by later next week, but we're also going to be tracking maybe some more rain as we head further into your upcoming work week. Quiet on Radar 3000 as we're continuing to wrap up this Sunday. Temperatures still holding steady in those low 60s for most, but Monroe, we are still at 69, whereas Boscobel, we're at 58, along with the Dells, 59 in Camp Douglas, 62 in Madison. Into Dane County we go, 62 in Sun Prairie, as well as in Deerfield, 63 Stoughton. We're beginning to slip into those upper 50s in Sauk City. All right, Monday, your planner right in front of you, starting out in those upper 50s to low 60s, ending the day in the upper 70s to low 80s. Probably going to see more partly sunny conditions, maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but a lot of us are probably going to stay dry tomorrow. In the full forecast coming up later on in this half hour, we're going to track out that late week rain chance to talk about why it is kind of being determined as to whether or not we actually see some tropical development. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, we'll see you then. School begins in the next couple of weeks, and when children share close quarters inside schools, it's easier for them to spread germs and get sick. Our Carry-On Lee sat down with SSM Health's family physician and wellness coach, Dr. Rupa Shah, to discuss how to manage and prevent seasonal illnesses.
Dr. Shah, thanks so much for joining us again.
Yes, of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So talking about illnesses kids may get when going back to school, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
So let's start by answering this. So what are the common ones they might come in contact with?
There's going to be plenty this fall. We always have our common cold virus. This is what we're referring to, adenovirus, rhinovirus, just run-of-the-mill kind of cold. But with that, of course, we're going to have COVID, we're going to have RSV, and then we're going to have influenza A and B as well. So there's going to be a hodgepodge of all these viruses, which similar sorts of symptoms, right? The common cold virus is going to be very mild symptoms. However, with flu or COVID, you're going to have more fever, chills, body aches, a lot more fatigue. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to tease out what the kids have. So it's best to really get them tested if you're concerned about something.
And heading into this school year, is COVID still a big concern?
Yeah, COVID is going to be there with us whether we like it or not, so we got to be on the lookout with it. And then when you mix in RSV and all these other viruses, really, I think it's going to come back down to really good hand washing, keeping your kids home if they're sick so they're not spreading it to others, wearing masks if you're in public, crowded places, taking all those precautions again that we've kind of gotten away from a little bit.
Yes, that's definitely all good things there. And when we talk about RSV, is there any shot that people can take for this one particularly?
There actually is, yeah. So there is an RSV vaccine that's great for young children and older adults, because remember, those are the ages that are really more prone to having more serious complications or symptoms for RSV. The average person may just get a little bit of a congestion, runny nose type of thing. However, the young and the elderly can get a lot more respiratory problems with it, a lot of wheezing, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing. So definitely vaccinations this fall are going to be top priority, and that is for flu, RSV, even pneumonia, and COVID as well. So.
And you talk about the flu shot. So when is the best time to get that flu shot?
So I think, any time really we say is a great time to get it. But if you really kind of want to focus your best shot at getting it is probably in the fall, September, October, as soon as it comes out, is a great time to get it. It takes about 2 weeks, remember, to get your immunity up to speed. So the sooner you get it in the season, the better you'll be protected.
And I kind of just want to touch back up on COVID. What about those boosters? Where are we at with that right now?
Definitely, if you have not been boosted, now is a great time to get boosted. And if you have kind of let that fall by the wayside this summer, please get it this fall, because there's just going to be, like I said, a huge variety of different viruses out there. So the more that you can be vaccinated against and protected against, you're going to be better off to protect yourself, your family, and your kids. Yeah.
Very good. Well, Dr. Shah, all great information here, but we do want people to be able to find you in other places. Where can they do so?
So they could find me on Instagram at Wellness with Dr. Shah.
Very good. Dr. Shah, thank you so much, as always, for coming in with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, both presidential campaigns were on the trail this weekend, focusing on their differing policies. And while taking out the garbage isn't glamorous, Consumer Reports shows us the best ways and the best trash bags to help make things a little bit easier.
Congress has been spinning its wheels, going nowhere. I'm Katrina Shankland. In the state capitol, I've passed 225 bipartisan laws to help farmers, workers, and families. I approve this message because I have the experience to get things moving.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series, gas, hybrid, or all-electric. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Make it Flex Buy on a new Ford F-150 and get 0.9% APR financing for 66 months plus $2,000 Flex Buy cash only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
I'm Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council. America needs a commander-in-chief who's tough on illegal immigration. Kamala Harris fails that test.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
Kamala was Biden's border czar. She supported sanctuary cities and taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. And she created the worst border crisis in American history. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The Sun Prairie Sweet Corn Festival runs August 14th through the 18th. The famous 80 tons of steamed corn, rolled in butter and lightly salted, is served Saturday and Sunday only. Visit sunprairiecornfest.com for complete details and hotel discounts.
Get a great deal and do a great deal of good when you shop at Habitat Restore. From furniture and decor to appliances and building materials, we've got everything you need for your next project. Shop our convenient East and West locations today.
It's their classic rock that brings audiences to their feet. It's Blue Oyster Cult, performing live Saturday, August 31st at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Tickets on sale now through Ticketmaster. Over 5 decades of music, thrilling fans everywhere. It's Blue Oyster Cult, August 31st at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
I was in a highway work zone, one lane open, car came by not paying any attention and hits me with its mirror. We're always within a couple of feet. People don't understand that when they're driving down the road. If a car veers inside those barrels, somebody's gonna get hit. You don't know what it's like walking that line. Cars so close.
Would you hire a barber who's never cut hair before? So why send someone to Congress who's never held public office and never passed a single bill? I'm Katrina Shankland. I approve this message because we need an experienced congresswoman. Right, Jed?
On the Jennifer Hudson Show, I learned to swim with Olympic champ Ryan Lochte. Plus, the very funny Dion Cole.
This is my talk show, J. Hud voice.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
The dueling presidential campaigns are leaning into their policy proposals and promises in an attempt to sway voters, especially in battleground states. In a flurry of criticisms, former President Donald Trump posted on social media claiming Harris's pitch was plagiarized, saying the theft comes after the culinary union endorsed his no tax on tips plan. On reproductive rights, Senator J.D. Vance, the Republican vice presidential nominee, says he's standing with Trump, saying he wants abortion access left to the states. Today, Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz pounced on the comments.
You'd make the same decision as someone else. Just mind your own damn business.
President Biden also talked on the state of the election, saying colleagues told him they believed he would hurt Democrats down the ballot if he stayed in the race, which contributed to his decision to step away. And a spokesperson for former President Donald Trump's campaign says someone hacked the Republican nominee's political operation. Politico reported yesterday it had received emails from an anonymous account with documents from inside Trump's campaign. A campaign spokesman says foreign sources hostile to the U.S. illegally obtained the documents. They went on to say the hacking is intended to interfere with the 2024 presidential election and sow chaos throughout the democratic process. Microsoft recently reported Iranian operatives had ramped up their attempts to influence and monitor the U.S. presidential election by trying to hack into unnamed presidential campaigns. However, it is unclear if Iran, in fact, is responsible for the hack on the Trump campaign. It's a dirty job, but we all have to do it, and that's taking out the trash. The last thing you want is a wimpy bag that splits open, spilling garbage everywhere. But garbage bags are expensive, and does spending more money really ensure that you're not going to make a mess? Consumer Reports has surprising answers from its recent round of trash bag testing.
Imagine this bag is filled with banana peels, coffee grounds, last week's leftovers, and who knows what else. And now it's all over your floor.
I absolutely can't stand bags breaking on me.
To help you avoid this kitchen nightmare, Consumer Reports just tested unscented 13-gallon trash bags from 9 best-selling brands.
Our testers used a special tool called a force gauge, which measures force against the bag. It was fitted with sharp and blunt tips to see how the bags resisted puncture.
In a test to check the wall and bottom strength, bags were tied by the neck to the force gauge. Water was added to the bags until they burst through the bottom or ripped at the top. To test the strength of drawstrings, testers tied them to the gauge, added water, and lifted them until the drawstring snapped.
The bags that came out on top in our tests, Simple Human tall trash bags and Walmart's Great Value trash bags.
The Rely Super Value garbage bags also did well in CR's tests and were the least expensive. The bags at the bottom of the heap include Glad Force Flex, Amazon Basics Tall Kitchen Drawstring bags, and
Hold On compostable trash bags. If you compost, you can consider these, but you'll pay top dollar for them, and the quality is far below the others in our tests.
That's not something you want to find out the hard way. This is Marcy Whalen.
Consumer Reports notes that even though most Simple Human trash bags are designed to fit their trash cans, they can still be used with other cans. Now let's get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what should we expect heading into the work week?
Well, we are going to anticipate maybe some rain as we wrap up the second half of your upcoming work week. But tonight we should remain partly cloudy. It's going to be pleasant, and we've already gotten a few photos in. We'll take a look at one sent in to us from Rick out of Wanakee. But you can look for the northern lights tonight as we settle into those upper 50s to low 60s. This was taken out of Wanakee earlier this evening, again, from Rick. If you have any photos, I'm about to post it on our Facebook, or you can submit them on our scanner or by scanning that QR code there, heading over to our website, channel3000.com. We've had a couple of times here over the last, I would say, year to almost a year and a half of really beautiful light shows here across southern Wisconsin. Tonight is going to be no different. So head on out away from all the light pollution, look towards the north on the horizon, get that exposure to really capture a lot of time so you can get those beautiful light photos, and then of course send them our way. Quiet on the radar 3000, and temperatures upper 50s to low 60s. Still holding on though to near 70 in Monroe, 62 in Madison, 61 in Watoma, upper 50s along the Wisconsin River there from the Dell stretching into Camp Douglas at 62 in Madison, as I mentioned. Same in Verona and in Mount Horeb. We're at 58 in Sauk City, 62 in Edgerton. Future track into your Monday, starting off our next work week with partly cloudy conditions and then maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm. It doesn't look super great. I would say folks farther south, you're going to have the better chance for that as we climb into those upper 70s to low 80s. But as we look ahead into the second half of next week, we're going to be watching a low pressure system coming off of the Rockies, and we're going to keep an eye on the Atlantic. There's an invest in the Atlantic right now, which is the precursor to maybe a tropical depression, then a tropical storm, then a hurricane. And I say that because as what could become a hurricane makes its way into the Atlantic, it's going to once again slow down the jet stream. So this low pressure system, while it moves in on Thursday, we're already ahead into Friday, and it's still dropping rain potentially across the Midwest, the Great Lakes region. It doesn't really wrap up until we go into early Sunday. This is Saturday at 11 o'clock at night. We're beginning to dry out as this low pressure system is backed up by what could become our next hurricane in the Atlantic. Models keeping it well off the East Coast, but it will still slow down our jet stream. We're looking at Sunday morning beginning to dry out. So we could see a couple days there starting Thursday through potentially the upcoming weekend where we're dealing with that soaking rain. With the blues and even the purples coming back to parts of southern Wisconsin, that's anywhere from maybe a half an inch to an inch to 2 inches of rain over 7 days. But as you just saw, that heavy rain begins on Thursday potentially and wraps up on Sunday. So it falls in a relatively short amount of time. So stay with News 3 Now. We'll, of course, keep you updated if all this plays out, because it's really going to be if we see that hurricane, that tropical storm form in the Atlantic. If that doesn't happen, or it's maybe more into the Atlantic, that low coming off of the Rockies, it may actually just move through here relatively quickly. And of course, that would take away the rain and that minor flooding concern. But in the meantime, quiet first half of next week with temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s from tomorrow all the way through that following Wednesday.
Yeah, I know that parts of the state, especially in our area, face some flooding because we were getting rain and rain after rain. Hopefully we don't see any of that soon, but I know you and I...
look for the Northern Lights? Sorry,
completely. Am I going to look?
Yeah.
I may head out for a little bit. I'm off tomorrow, so I may go out for a drive.
They're pretty.
But I just know that at least for Monday, Tuesday, looking forward to that calmer weather.
It is going to be nice, yes.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. And coming up in sports, the Mallards look to start the playoffs on a winning note. Next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
I'm the proud son of a single mom.
My mom worked nights to provide for us.
My mom worked 80 hours a week.
But Eric Hovde thinks if you have a single mom, you're going to be poor or a drug addict?
That is a direct path to a life of poverty. It leads to higher drug rate.
That just shows Eric Hovde is ignorant.
Come on, I'm successful today because of my mom.
I learned my work ethic from my mom, my single mom.
What is wrong with this guy?
I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
This summer, feel confident from head to toe with Sono Bello Permanent Fat Removal and get summer body ready in just one visit.
I saw the results immediately.
It's the best I have felt since I was in my 20s.
My waist is tiny. I'm very, very happy.
I'm nearly 50, y'all, and my abs haven't been this flat since before I had kids.
For a limited time, take advantage of Sono Bello's biggest sale of the year. Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
It will change your life. It did for me.
I can't wait till the summertime hit. Hot Mom Summer, here I come.
Call 1-800-905-6520 now or go to sonobello.com to claim special pricing.
My heart was failing because of blood clots in my lungs. I'm Mike, and that was my diagnosis. But only my team at Northwestern Medicine had the solution to save me.
Mike's team performed a breakthrough technique to clear the clots deep in his lungs. Tiny balloons were used to gently restore blood flow, giving Mike a new lease on life. Northwestern Medicine is a leader in second opinions for all heart and vascular conditions. If you've been diagnosed with a complex heart or vascular condition, we have something to offer. Northwestern Medicine. Better.
CapTime's Idea Fest is back for a week of powerhouse speakers and sessions exploring important local and national topics. September 15th through the 21st in Madison. This year's guest speakers include Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi, former member of Congress Liz Cheney, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, and historian Heather Cox Richardson, along with many others. Idea Fest brings together changemakers to discuss Wisconsin's triumphs and failures to help reach a better state. Purchase your tickets today at captimesideafest.com to join this premier thought festival.
You'll soon vote on two misleading constitutional amendments. They're designed to trick voters into eliminating checks and balances in our government. It's a power grab to give the MAGA politicians in the legislature the sole power to distribute emergency funding. They gerrymander, deny elections, and push abortion bans. Don't give MAGA politicians the sole power. Vote no to questions 1 and 2.
After winning a franchise record 50 games, it was off to the postseason for the Madison Mallards tonight. They hosted the Woodchucks of Wausau at the Duck Pond for Game 1 of the best-of-3 series. Scoreless in the third inning, 2 ducks on the pond for the Woodchucks, and Jake Birkland takes full advantage. The 3-run home run was a killer for the Mallards and accounted for half of the offense in this entire game. And then later in the game, in the fourth, the Lards would sacrifice an out for a run, but it's the only run that they'd get across to score this evening. The Mallards lose Game 1, 5-1. They will need to win their next 2 on the road to stay alive. Brewers trying to win their 6th straight in search of the sweep over Cincy. Milwaukee mounted an early lead. Joey Ortiz launching a 2-run homer in the second, giving the Crew a 2-0 lead. But Cincy would steal this one late, taking the streak away from the Brewers with a 4-3 win. Coming off of a terrific first year as a starter, Jordan Love enters year 2 as the Packers' full-fledged franchise quarterback. He got the start in yesterday's preseason opener, and it only took him 3 plays to find Dontavian Wicks for a touchdown. For Love, the situation was perfect. He got a few real in-game repetitions and essentially got to watch the rest of the game from the sideline.
I liked it. I mean, that was the goal we wanted, was to go out there, get our series and put up points. And so I was happy with the way it went out. But I think maybe getting a couple more snaps here in the preseason would be nice. I mean, like you said, we only got three plays tonight. So just being able to get out there, get back in that mode. It was nice to, get in the game today. But I think getting a longer drive, putting a couple more plays up might be nice.
The 2024 Paris Olympics have officially come to a close. It was a historic games for Team USA, claiming 126 total medals, including one they got.
Anniversary sale at Denver Mattress has been extended. And right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Save up to $300 on our Doctor's Choice lineup, or get 60 months no interest and free shipping. But hurry, the extended anniversary sale at Denver Mattress ends soon.
Kamala Harris has taken on gang members to get justice for victims, taken on big banks to pay back people they ripped off, taken on drug companies to cap insulin at $35. Now she's running to take on greedy corporations who jack up prices to lower everyday costs for working families. They're spending millions on ads attacking her because she'd be a president who fights for you. FF PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
Arby's is full of choices. Quick, you can get your favorite stuff 3 for $5.
Pretty good.
Incredible value for a limited time. Reach in and eat whatever you grab. Arby's, we have the meats.
The Sun Prairie Sweet Corn Festival runs August 14th through the 18th. The famous 80 tons of steamed corn, rolled in butter and lightly salted, is served Saturday and Sunday only. Visit sunprairiecornfest.com for complete details and hotel discounts.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of Ford vehicles, like the Built Wild Bronco family, with a deal you just can't miss. Your biggest adventures are waiting, so make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. I want that. Make it a lease on a new Ford Bronco Sport for $299 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
We went with the website nuts.com because nuts and dried fruit and pretzels and trail mix and gummies and espresso beans and energy squares and fudge and jelly beans and a whole lot more.com was already taken. Get 20% off and free shipping on your first order at nuts.com.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking. Fixing the border is tough. So is Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
The anniversary sale at Denver Mattress has been extended. And right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every 1,000 you spend. Save up to $300 on our Doctor's Choice lineup or get 60 months no interest and free shipping. But hurry, the extended anniversary sale at Denver Mattress ends soon.
Chris Stanford, News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
All right, Andrew, so the Olympics are wrapped up now. What was your favorite moment?
Yeah, I think it was when Quincy Hall from the U.S. came all the way back in that 400. Yeah. That was unbelievable to me, just showing the true grit and determination. You love seeing an American win it. That, for me, was the coolest moment.
Absolutely. For me, I'm going to roll with Noah Lyles. I know he's polarizing, but he was able to get it done despite all the naysayers.
Absolutely.
A quick check of the forecast before we head on out.
Northern Lights out tonight. You still have a beautiful chance to see them. This was out of Wanakee earlier. Thank you, Rick. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, maybe an isolated shower or two, but the best chance for rain arrives starting Thursday of next week. Stay with News 3 Now. We'll keep you updated.
Sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Thank you, Andrew. And thank you, Rick. We'll see you all back here tomorrow.